Hi everyone, it's Sunday at the Work From Home Opportunities Group. Today's Hangout we are going to be talking about Hangouts themselves. I'm Travis, the digital marketing nomad, and I have a couple other people on the panel today. Kai, do you want to start it off?
What's up, everybody? Let me. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I hear a little bit of feedback, but so I'm Kai Kawai from KaiKawai.com. I'm Building Me Inc. and welcome to the Work From Home Opportunities Sunday Hangout. I'm excited actually for this topic. I know we talked a little bit about it in the Work From Home community this week, and so hopefully I can't see from my side how many people are on, but it'd be cool to get some feedback on this Hangout topic, because it still seems like there's a lot of folks that are a little bit skeptical of using them or just haven't quite jumped over. I know that's a conversation that I know Danny and Travis and I have all had at some point, but good to be here. Hopefully we can bring you guys some value today, and I said my piece. I'll add in as you need me to.
Perfect. And Danny.
Danny Forts with Rejection-Free Formula in DannyForts.com. Yeah, I'm just Kai. We do talk about that constantly. Some people are just afraid to get on camera and actually do the dang thing. But it's the ultimate in truth, transparency, and trust, which are the 3 T's that a lot of times people forget about marketing. You can shoot all the links out you want in the world, but unless they know who they're talking to, good luck.
It's true. It's true.
So true.
Dana, your turn.
Oh, sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Dana Carpio.
We aren't hearing you.
Not
Do you
hearing
guys
me?
hear?
No, I don't.
Okay, let's try this.
I do not hear.
I'm not muted.
No,
Here.
still nothing.
Technology is always great when it works, and this is one of the things we always run into, and we even talked about flexibility and having flexibility when we're doing these things, so we can just, until we can actually hear Dana, let's just keep the show rolling, and I'm sure when she gets audio, we'll let her chime in.
Can you hear me now? I'm not muted on my side.
So we'll just keep going. Dana, if you can get the sound figured out, we will introduce you then.
Okay.
And so let's just talk about the power of Hangouts in general and what we can do with them and the abilities that it offers. Kai, do you want to start?
Sure. So, I think Danny kind of alluded to this, but you just don't know the trust factor that you can build by just being somebody who they can see and actually interact with. There's something to be said for the phone, but there's just something more compelling about having somebody on the other line that you can actually see. So that's another big trust builder for video. And so, Hangouts, not only can you bring in, like, for instance, if you're building a team, which I know a lot of people who are online, especially in this community, that's exactly what they're doing. And if you live in different states, that poses a problem. You may have the technology to have conference calls or what have you, but imagine having a chat room like this where you could have thousands and thousands of people watching, that you can save that training. So if you just get just a killer training where people get a lot of nuggets out of maybe a process that you're trying to talk about or teach your team how something that is working right now for building leads for your business, and they can reference back to that and use it. that does two things for you. One, it gives the team like immediate feedback on what they could be doing, and you can show them. And then two, for the person that's holding or moderating the hangout, it gives you instant authority. And those are two things that equal social proof for you. And if you've been online or are aspiring to build a business online, those are two like essential elements that you're going to need for your business.
Absolutely. You guys made some great points. Danny, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, as far as like the tips and training that Kai talks about, and even getting to prospecting and so forth. The other thing I think that gets lost is when you're trying to be found on the internet, whether it's your opportunity or products that you're promoting. Google Hangouts are by far the best way to rank stuff online. Period. I mean, so I don't care if it's for a local business, don't care if it's for opportunity, don't care if it's a product, software, what have you. By far, Google Hangouts are the best way to get your stuff ranked and get your content found as well. So.
Absolutely. One of the reasons why that is so well that it ranks is your Google profile actually has its own PageRank. So if people understand about SEO, you can put in your profile and check its PageRank. It's not just about followers that gets that PageRank. It's also who has you circled and a bunch of other things. But your profile on Google Plus is its own page, a mini blog, if you want to think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Another awesome thing with Hangout is it streams to YouTube and to Google Plus at the same time. So you can either watch this on Google Plus or you can watch on YouTube. And so it's allowing you to build two audiences at the same time, which is another great feature of the Hangouts. And anything else? Any other topics on this, guys?
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things, and here comes Christina. We can say hi to Christina. Finally, we get to meet her in person because I've been watching some of her videos.
Yeah, she's been killing it this week with the videos, so thought I'd bring her on, get some of her expertise on Hangouts.
Hey guys, what's up?
What's going on, Christina?
Not
How
much.
you doing?
See you guys.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Hear you, I can't see you.
Yeah, I've got my camera off. It was I got in very late last night. I spent the day with Les Brown and some other like-minded folks that I work with, and so not really camera ready today.
We were just talking about that thing about But that's cool. Welcome, Christina. Glad to finally meet you.
Good to finally meet you too, Danny.
Yep. So.
Christina, do you have anything to say about the benefits and the power of a Google Hangout?
Well, absolutely. Listen, as a person, just to go back to what Danny was talking about, as a person that had absolutely no desire to do any video marketing, very nervous about being on camera, just in general, it's like, oh my gosh, what do I say? I have to say that as soon as I started doing videos and as soon as I started doing Hangouts, my audience following absolutely just started going just off the charts, because people really get an idea of what your personality is. It's really hard to understand a person's personality without hearing the inflection of their voice and seeing their mannerisms and really kind of seeing how they flow with other people. So the Hangouts is absolutely invaluable tool for building you Inc. and for helping put a personality with your business.
Absolutely. Great points there. the fact that you are able to see people, you build that rapport so much faster. I'm personally on the road all the time, so for me, I'm able to connect with family through Hangouts as well, more at the same time than what Skype can offer, which is another great benefit. You can have up to 9 other people, including yourself,
Hmm.
on a Hangout, where Skype you can only have, I believe, it's you plus 3 last time I was playing around with that. So
And it's a little unstable, Skype seems to be. I mean, Hangouts has its issues too, don't get me wrong, but it seems to be a lot more stable than Skype.
I think so, especially for mobile for me.
Yeah.
Hangouts on my phone produce better video.
Hey,
Um,
something else, Travis, that is just really really cool, and I'm talking like this is in the last even the last year in using Hangouts. You know, one of the big providers in online conferencing is GoTo, right? GoToMeeting, and that's a Citrix driven, and it's pretty expensive. I don't know if anybody on this panel has ever priced that, but it's pricey. I looked at it. There's a couple other places that that have a meeting room that you can use. It's not universal though. Like you can't reach as many people. They have to be invited. Like Pure Leverage has an awesome meeting room that's in the ballpark of what normal people can pay every month. But again, it's not it's something that you could use for a group of people that you invite. But if you're talking about using this technology, that it's something like, I don't know, 600 hours of content is being uploaded to YouTube like every minute or something crazy like that now. There are plugins now and software out there now, the webinar jams, and I use a plugin also called RunClick, that you can host a webinar and have all the functionality or dang close to the functionality of a GoToMeeting, where you can bring people in and they can moderate and you can chat with everyone that's attending and capture leads that way. It's now like in the ballpark of what the average person who's trying to get started online can grasp at and afford. And so if you're not using it, you're like 10 steps behind some of the people who you may be following or aspiring to be like, from a authority perspective. And so the technology's there. You just got to look for it and combine it. I agree with Christina on some of the bandwidth issues that people have, and the flashiness or people's audio not working or not being able to connect. But once we start kind of figuring out those little bugs, I personally, and I know Danny and I do a kind of a hangout on Wednesdays. We usually, when there's not as many people on the panel, it usually flows a little bit smoother. So I don't know if that's a tip. If you're going to be moderating something, try to keep it to 2 or 3 people, and you can usually keep it pretty stable for the whole time that you're doing your hangout.
Totally agree on that. Yeah. And another thing that I find that it's very good, Hangouts is for is, it's all the Google platform in general. And when you don't know anything, when people don't know anything, they go to Google or they go to YouTube, right? So
Right.
these Hangouts are automatically gonna be on the YouTube channel. They're gonna be able to rank quicker. So keep that in mind when it comes to what you're going to be titling your hangout and everything, because you can get this stuff to rank, and that's having immediate content out there, on front page of Google. It's awesome.
It's great that you
uh,
say that, because I don't know if anyone tried to Google work from home, and if you Google work from home and the circle is in if you're in the community, so on and so forth, you'll be surprised, or you shouldn't be surprised, to see what comes up on the first page of search when you search for work from home, or even
right,
work from home community, at the very least.
absolutely. Communities also rank as well. Again, it's all part of Google, and Google has 80% of the search. So when you're talking about things will rank faster. Google likes itself, right? So it's going to show more of itself. on its front page. Just also want to jump back to bandwidth for a quick second. What you can do if you are in a Hangout, in the top there's a little toolbar. It usually has the microphone, video, and then these 4 bars. If you click on the 4 bars, you can actually adjust your bandwidth depending on how fast your internet is. For me, I have to usually play with this more because I don't always have stable internet, which can smooth out your calls when you're doing a Hangout. So just a quick tip there. If you're not getting the exact frame rate that you're wanting.
Can anybody hear me?
Okay.
Can anybody hear me?
Do you guys, when you do a Hangout, are there any?
I can hear you, Dana.
Oh, Christina, you can hear me. Okay. Can anybody else?
No. Can
No.
Kai or Danny, can you hear?
I can't hear Dana at all.
You know what, though? The last time we had Sonia on here, though, on the playback, we were able to hear her just fine, even though some of us couldn't hear her. So
I could hear Dana when I was on the other side, too, from the very beginning.
Okay, well, let's introduce Dana. Let's give Dana her moment here. Even though we can't hear you, hopefully we'll get it in the recording.
Okay. Well, hi guys. My name is Dana Carpio. I am a mother of 2 small children, and my venture to work online started back, I guess, around June or July. And I've connected with the work from home opportunity community and have loved every minute of it. It's a fantastic, supportive group. And sorry, one of my sons is right here next to me, begging for my attention. I am very thankful and very blessed to have be a part of the community. And I'm going to also have to say with Christine, as far as Christina is concerned, and her comments about the I apologize, and the comments about how, I'm sorry, I have a little one who's kind of fussy and he's kind of got me distracted for a second. But I have to agree with Christina on the search engine, and I'll also have to agree with her with the personality, because you can't see personality through words. I use exclamation points a lot of the time when I'm posting something online, and I know you guys probably think she's an exclamation point queen. Well, no, the whole point is to try to get my point across, and the Hangouts actually allows you to do that with your physical, your voice, your face, your movements, everything. There's a complete transparency there instead of trying to read through the words. So, but I'll throw it back to you guys. Thanks. I'm great to be here. Enjoying it.
Cool, Dana. So she's done. Were you getting ready to make a point, Danny? You're on mute.
Awesome. I hope we were able to get that on the recording in the playback. But let's keep going here. In regards
quick thing, really quick though. Someone put in the chat or question or Q&A. He put, "Do people see this question?" It's Karsten Aritz. And then he goes, "What about this question? LOL." So he's just checking to see if anyone's monitoring, which is funny because, yes, Karsten, we do see your question. So if you have a specific question that we can answer, feel free to fire away, and I will be checking from time to time, since I'm not moderating.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny, for that question. Because, yeah, I'm trying to see that as well, so thank you for that. In regards to Hangouts, you can also use them, like, the reason why they're so powerful is you can use them as a webinar service as well. You can share your screen is one of the great features with it. Let's get some opinions on any other tools you use Hangouts for or any apps that you add into the Hangout. Danny, do you want to start it off?
We do use I do use some screen sharing, and especially if I'm doing a Hangout by myself to actually get some content ranked or doing the screen share. So I'll use screen share, but you can also include like Google Docs in there as well, would automatically, obviously, because it's a Google property. I don't get too much into using all the other kind of fun stuff that you can use, like the things you can put hats and mustaches and all that stuff. I mean, I know that stuff is fun, but I'm a kind of I guess you would call me a no-nonsense kind of guy. I just like to get in, get the goods, and get out. So I usually don't do all the other stuff, but I do know those are things that are available in Google Hangouts, and there's a lot of cool, fun, interactive things that you can do. But I mainly just use either bringing in the screen share or using Google Drive. So.
Right. Google Drive, just so people that haven't used it on here, you can actually work together with people in the Hangout if you do use Google Drive. So if you're working on a presentation or something, you both can work on it within a Hangout, just so you guys know. Dana.
Hey,
yeah,
before we move over, hey Danny, are you actually sharing your desktop when you do your presentations, or are you loading them in and using them that way?
I do them both. If I'm doing like a tutorial and showing someone how to use software, I'm using directly from the desktop screen share. And then if I'm using slides, I'm one of those people that always uses Google Drive for slides. I don't normally use. I think I've only used my pages once, like on my Mac, because I just use Google Drive because I have the ability to share stuff. Other people can edit stuff, so it just makes it really easy for me. Although the issue that Kai and I were having on one of the Hangouts were that I couldn't figure out how to make just the area where the slide is full screen. That was the only issue that we haven't figured out just yet, and I'm not sure if you can actually do it, but it's not something I've necessarily looked into because those are all minor issues that a perfectionist would get hung up on that I don't get hung up on. I just do it anyway. That makes sense.
Right. One thing you can do when it comes to doing slides is do it on PowerPoint or Pages on a Mac, and then you can upload it to Google Drive. So you have it as a backup as another option that you can do if one's not working out for you.
But you know what I wonder though? If you upload it from the drive, like if you share it from your desktop and you're doing it and you have animation on it, and in your whiteboarded or your blue box or white box, whatever color it is this month, then it'll show the transition, right? But if you upload it, I wonder if it'll show the transition.
Well, Christina, that's a good question because I've uploaded stuff because Danny and I have collaborated on different like presentations, but I usually run the presentation as a presentation in PowerPoint, and it's it comes up on your desktop as a full screen like presentation where you can click and trigger your animations as you want them to happen. And that's usually what I do is I share that screen and not just my desktop screen. I share just the presentation screen, and it's big. I mean, it fills the whole viewing window, so the people that are watching my presentations, they only see that. And then if they want to, if I want them to see me, or I want to show them like something in WordPress, or I'm doing a demonstration in Aweber or whatever, then I'll change my screen share back to like a web browser, and then I can kind of show them, step by step as I go through it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like what I've been doing, but I've not actually tried to upload to Google Drive and do the presentation from Google Drive. I just always do a presentation on my desktop.
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it, just because I've been doing them myself. If you have a moderator I would recommend InDrive. This way, the moderator can focus on flipping slides for you. So it's just another way to do it that way if you are working in a team setting.
Good point.
Christine, is there any plugins or anything you use on Google Hangouts?
I've not delved too much into the plugins other than I've used Showcase a couple of times. And I'm still, I don't know, because I'm moderating and I'm not really able to see all outside of, what the audience is seeing. I'm not really getting too much effect either way on that, to be honest with you. But I'm thinking Dana had something to say on that. Did you have something to say, Dana?
I was just gonna say that having the Hangouts like this. Well, I was going to say something, and I have totally lost contact of what I was going to say. I apologize. I'm a little bit off today. The kids have been sick. See, life happens. Life happens. And I
outside
right now
of, what the audience is seeing, I'm not really getting too much effect either way on that, to be honest with you.
I'm still...
Dana had something to say on that. Did you have something to say, Dana?
I was just going to say...
Now I'm getting some feedback of a double loop or something.
Yeah, so... Am I?
We lost contact of what I was going to say. I apologize. Holy cow, where did that come from?
Are you guys getting that?
I apologize. I'm a little bit off today. The kids have been sick. See, life happens. Life happens. And...
honest with you.
I was just going to say...
I'm getting some feedback of a double or something.
Let's all go on mute, and then we'll find out who's doing the feedback. Okay, go ahead, Dana.
Okay, Christina, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can anybody else hear me? No. Oh, no. Okay. Well, I'm unmuted on my end, so I don't know why I'm not coming out on the other end.
You want to go ahead and make your point, Dana, and then I'll let the guys know when you're done?
Oh, okay, that'll work. I was just going to say, me being new to the online internet marketing, you have to go through, there is a learning curve with everything that you do, and the Hangouts is one of those learning curves. And I am still relatively new. I've been able to use Hangouts. However, I haven't been able to host or to moderate a Hangout. And so I haven't been able to use the plugins, but as soon as I get the chance to, I watch the Hangouts and participate in the Hangouts on my tablet, and it doesn't have the ability to get it set up where I can put my name and web address on the screen, or you can't use the many plugins that are offered. So you actually need to be able to do it from a laptop, which I'm working on getting fixed. But eventually, I mean, there is a learning curve with all of these things, and there are different pieces that you can use to enhance the Hangouts. And in my experience between Hangouts and Skype, Hangouts is so much better. So much better. It's more reliable. You can record it and post it to your page. And it just seems to be a better platform altogether. And so if you haven't had a chance to get on Google Hangouts and play around and try to figure it out, or if you haven't researched about it, I highly suggest researching about it and getting in there and playing around and trying to see what you can come up with and help you with those questions that you might have.
Yeah, that's good. That's really a good point, Dana, because everybody is not really familiar with Hangouts, and people get a little nervous. But really, the only way you can learn something is to dive in and do it, take action on it. So even though you might not be really proficient at it, the more you do it, the more experience. Every time you do a Hangout, you'll learn something new. And you have another good point with the fact of, if you're being a moderator versus being a panelist, When you're moderating, sometimes it's kind of hard to try out new plugins and things. And so that was another good point. And I think the last good point that you made was having the right equipment. So maybe if you're going to be moderating, especially not being on like a tablet or anything, but making sure you're on your laptop or a desktop so that you can have full access to what's in the back panel is important too. All very good points.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Christina. Yeah, I mean, you see, I think some of the other Hangouts that we had previously when we first got these up and running, that's why I always had someone actually moderating or checking the chat. And speaking of which, Carson made another comment, and I just want to make sure I get his comment in here. So my opinion of Hangouts that would be more effective are Hangouts we are having now, and to use it as a tool to get to know each other. The branding of a business comes later. And Carson, that's a great point. And a lot of us actually do that when we're not on a panel like this. That's initially how I met Kai. That's initially how I've met Michelle. That's how I've met Travis. I've met at least a dozen people through the community. Lately I haven't had that much time to get on individual Hangouts with people because I was out of town and so forth, and still got like lots of things going on. But that is my primary mode of actually just getting on with someone to just kind of find out more about their business, see where they're at, see what their goals are, seeing what they're trying to accomplish. And even like with Carson and I, we've been on a phone call, which is just as great too, because some people just don't like to get on video, and that's fine. But again, it is the trust factor that gets built when you can establish yourself as a person who can work their way around technology and do some of this stuff, versus kind of, I don't want to say making the excuse, or just feeling like you're not proficient enough to go out and do some of this stuff, because just like Christina alluded to, the only way you get better is by doing. And like Travis likes to say, learn, do, teach.
Learn, do, teach. But then what Carson was saying is very good. I know I often use Hangouts just to mastermind. I'm not masterminding with any and everybody, because obviously a strong mastermind is going to be somebody, a group of people who all have skill sets that they can contribute either on your level or above you. But I leverage Hangouts a lot to mastermind, and that's how you learn new things. I mean, like you guys, certain of you probably use more of the plugins than I do, so certainly being on a Hangout with you guys, I can be like, hey guys, what is this? Where do I go to do this? And this is a great way for me to add to my learning platform.
Absolutely. One thing I do want to say is, just so people aren't confused, there's Hangouts, and then there's what we're doing right now, which is a Hangout on Air. And so they are separate. So if you want to practice, you can get on the video on just a normal Hangout and talk with people, and that's not recorded. If you do want to do a Hangout on Air, you do have to go and set that up. So there is a difference between the two. So you don't have to be scared of Hangouts, because you don't have to do video. You can just chat as well.
The good thing about the Hangouts, though, is that it's recorded on YouTube and saved for you. That's what I like. And that way you don't feel the pressure of having to sit there and do a video. You can actually just have a conversation with someone and get the most out of it and be able to have it on YouTube to post the link to it later. That's one of my favorite things about having a live session and then being able to turn around and be able to recapture that live session so everybody else can.
So how many? I guess I have a question. Can you guys can all hear me, right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but I just want to make sure Dana was wrapped up first, because she was finishing up.
Oh, didn't know she was talking. My bad.
Were you done, Dana? Okay, so Dana was done. She was just saying, just to reiterate, that a good thing about the Hangouts is that they're automatically recorded, and so she doesn't have to worry about doing a bunch of videos. She's automatically got her content. I think that's really great, Dana. That's one way that I leverage doing those. Is I like to do like an interview like this, and have several different questions in it. And because I'm building my business part-time, I can then go and, splice up the video, and I'll have 3 or 4 days worth of content that way.
So only Hangouts on air are recorded, not just
Right.
the normal Hangouts.
Right.
Just for people if they have questions with that. And,
So she's done talking, I think, now.
Okay, Danny, you said you had something to say?
Only because I thought there was nobody talking because I couldn't hear Dana. So I was kind of like, and I'm just looking. So that's all. So no, keep it rolling, bro.
Awesome. Okay. And so, when it comes to Hangouts as well, Danny mentioned earlier there's a feature called Showcase. I think Danny was the one that said it, or Kristen. Sorry. You can use that as a powerful tool to drive traffic to your web page, your squeeze page, special offer. You can put something up there if you're doing a Hangout on air and use that tool to drive traffic to your offers. And so that is a feature that a lot of webinar services have, but Google now has that as well. Have you guys used that feature at all? Anyone on the panel?
Yeah, I've used it a couple times. And I've actually got a couple leads off of it, so I can't say it's not beneficial. But I used it when it first came out a couple times. But I have to say, from a like an audience perspective, I've not been on a hangout on air that they were using the showcase, but I can imagine that it would distract me, and I would pay more attention to what's going on with the showcase than what the panel is talking about at that moment.
Absolutely. If you are going to use it, if you've been on webinars, I know MLSP does it in their Hangouts, or sorry, on their webinars, is they should do the showcase or what they're offering at the end. Make sure you don't turn it on at the beginning, because yeah, it will definitely be distracting. But if you put it at the end, as you're wrapping up, I think that's an effective way that can drive people to an offer that you do have. Another point, I think, I don't know, have you guys embedded any Hangouts on air on any of your stuff? In any websites, anybody?
Yes, when I do rank for like software or something I'm actually promoting, I have like kind of like a system where I learned because obviously when you're ranking, whether it's YouTube videos or whether you're ranking Hangouts, one of the things is they already have obviously backlinking with the code. So the more places it's actually embedded, it's actually telling the search engines that it's giving it more juice, social signals and backlinking at the same time. So between some of the other social media platforms, it's just a lot in setup. Because actually, when you use the code, it's great, but then you have a lot of lead time and setup time that you have to do, because you don't want to just copy and paste the content because it's duplicate content. If let's say you're putting it on Tumblr or you're putting it on Facebook, you definitely want to spin your content that you're writing. You don't want to just copy and paste it, because then it's going to it doesn't work as well. So if you're putting it on different blogs, your Facebook page, or your Facebook tab, you can put it in again like Tumblr, Blogger, and it just gives you more ranking juice. But yeah, I've done it several times.
Hey Travis, I do the same thing. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm just doing something that I'm going to launch on Google Plus, like I've been doing a lot of like analysis on like just how powerful some of the hashtagging is, and strategically placing some of your content within communities. I've been kind of tracking that, but normally if I'm just trying to rank a video, like say I was doing something for an affiliate product, let's say, I put it in a minimum of 3 Web 2.0 properties ahead of time, because when you generate it and you say you could post it and say you're gonna do it tomorrow, it gives you the watch link. So you can go and take that watch link and embed it in wherever you want, and then when it goes live, it'll start playing that for you. And to Danny's point, yeah, you don't want to have, you don't want to get slammed in Google for having duplicate content, and then have it start ignoring one of your properties. So you want to make sure that you have 200 to 300 words that are, and I don't ever target the same keywords in the same property. Like Tumblr, I target different keywords that are maybe LSI for my main keyword, and then in Blogger, I'll go after different keywords, and then on I don't know Livewire or wherever else I go, I'll use a different keyword, and build a small article for those. And
So,
then
hey, Kai,
go ahead.
for the people that are not really as familiar with SEO, and obviously that's not the subject of this hangout, but maybe we can get just a little bit deeper into your thought process as to why you're doing it that way, and what is like when you said LCI and all that stuff, like get a little bit more into that.
Okay. Well, so long. I guess the way I look at LSI, to not get too confusing, say that you wanted to try to rank for the keywords work from home. We talked about that. Well, there's many different ways that people might search for that. So if you think about it like someone who would be a prospect for a work from home opportunity, you might use it in different formats, like humans read or type, not like Google's algorithm would search it. So you might use the phrase, how to make some extra money online from home, which sounds like a lot, but if you were to search that particular phrase, because I've ranked videos for it, there's not too many people out there searching for that, but I got thousands of hits on that keyword because I didn't just go work from home opportunity. Does that answer the question that you were kind of looking for?
That's exactly what I want, because I knew that everybody would pick up on that. That's totally good stuff.
Okay. And then as far as
Absolutely.
if we want to go deeper into backlinking, which I don't want to get too tied up in that, the whole point of having those other properties out there with different keywords is because when you start sending social signals to those different places, social signals are really, really powerful right now. Like if I invested any time in anything, as far as trying to rank any kind of keyword or blog post or video, it would be in social signals, social bookmarking. But it helps you as far as getting your message spread out there. And if you're doing that regularly, what it does is it gives those posts authority as well. And that's kind of what you're looking for, because when you do that, there's some guys that are in the millions of subscribers on YouTube. When they put something out, they have the authority already. So I mean, it just automatically shoots up to the first page of Google or the first page of YouTube, where they don't have to work so hard as some of us kind of blue collar people out here doing it. So.
Awesome, great point, Kai. Especially for the backlinking purposes, I think we should have a hangout on that just in itself, because that's a thorough topic. But also, I want to mention when you do a hangout on air, it automatically goes as a public video. But if you want, like if you're doing your own personal videos, what you can do is you can set them as unlisted and only have them on a website or a squeeze page. And that's another way. So you're not using it on YouTube, but you can use it as like a squeeze page as well. I've seen quite a few big people that use Google Plus regularly that have like hundreds of thousands of followers that do that with some of their squeeze pages as well. Is they just record the webinar and then throw that on a squeeze page, and you can only see it from the squeeze page. So that's also a great way to drive traffic. And let's just wrap it up here. We're getting close to the end here. I do want to respect everyone's time today. Are there any Let's do one tip or trick about Google Plus that Hangouts that you guys like to use. Christina, can we start with you?
Um, Tip, huh? I think I've already said mine. I really like to just leverage the Hangouts on air so that I can, um, have a good amount of content. I can do 1 hour interview, and I can literally have 4 or 5 days worth of content that I can kind of, cut up and have put out there, which is very key for most of us who are building our business part time, because you want to have a piece of content out daily.
Awesome. When you're talking about cutting up content, for people that might not know how to do that, how would you do that?
I just use the YouTube editor and do it in YouTube. And trust me, you don't have to be techie because I know nothing about YouTube. But it's really pretty simple to go in there and say edit, and it's very obvious. It just says trim, and you trim it. It's very simple to figure it out.
Awesome. Does anyone use any other tools besides the YouTube editor if they're cutting video?
Video Maker. Sometimes I use Video Maker too. For those people who have Microsoft, I forget what it's called. I think doesn't Jing have it as well? You can use Jing, I think, and iMaker for the Apple platform.
Great. Kai, is there something you use?
Actually, I leave the Hangouts, if we're doing them live like this. I leave them raw. Now I have done Hangout training where I put them through kind of a webinar format where they can watch basically an evergreen product and opt into that. So it's on Hangouts, and I just use the editor that's there to trim it a little bit in the front and be able to add like an intro, a quick MP4 intro to it, that just kind of brands me, or if I wanted to add something to the end of that or in the middle of it. But yeah, I usually leave that. The Hangouts are powerful, just raw, and I think Christina said it when we first got on. It's just they hear you, they see your mannerisms, they know how you talk, and that's what people need to see, just who you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Language, only 10% of it is actually verbal, and so when you have a video, you're adding all those extra percentage points to your mannerisms and your communication, because if you're moving around and flinging your arms, it shows something about you, right? And so by seeing someone, you see the mannerisms, which is very, very powerful.
I'm sure if you watch my videos, you totally see that I gesticulate a lot. But that was a good point that you make, Kai, about leaving it raw. Like, I will leave the whole hour-long one out there, but like, say I'm doing one and we've covered 5 different topics in there, then I will just cut out like the one question. Maybe it might be on time management, and then I'll rename it for time management, because you got to think also with ranking with YouTube, how long people actually watch the videos plays into it. So I might could get somebody to watch a 3-minute section and them not want to watch a whole hour. So that's my way also of trying to kind of add to my juice.
Absolutely.
So can I throw my tip in now? Because she brought up a good point. So sometimes what I do is I'll post in the timeline, in the description of the video, I'll push the timeline, like what minute and seconds that particular topic comes up, and that keyword will be embedded basically in my description, and will also take some juice to that video. So that's another great way to break it up, and people can come in and click on that timeline and go straight to that part of the video.
See, I'm learning something. So let me ask you, with that whole hour, like if you leave it in the raw and you do it like the minutes like you're saying, and they only click on that one question, does that not negatively impact the ranking of that entire video?
No, I haven't had it. I haven't had it negatively impact any of my videos when I put those timelines on there. I've had more people click on them because then, and they've actually come back multiple times to view them because they didn't have time to watch the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm not asking it exactly right, but I won't take up any more time, and maybe I'll get with you offline on that because I've been wondering that because I use those timestamps, but I often wondered, well, if somebody only watches, 2 minutes of an hour-long interview, and they don't come back and watch the rest of the interview, how that's going to affect the whole 1 hour-long interview.
I see what you're saying. Like, so basically, you're showing a drop-off rate.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah. For me, it helps with keyword targeting.
Gotcha.
And so that's where you're getting the juice. When they pull it, so when somebody searches for that, what it ends up doing is it'll pull your video up and get views. And when they see that description, they may click on it or not. But what it helps you do is it helps you rank for other keywords.
I'll have to put more thought into that, Kai. Thank you, buddy.
But I like your idea of segmenting as well. That's really good because if anybody's watching this, totally listen to this because curating content like that, you can introduce your content that you already have out there in different formats. So if you had a video, you could make it a blog post, or if you had a blog post, you could make it a video, or you could make it a slideshare, or slideshare could lead to the blog. You know what I mean? Like you can intertwine all that. So that's good stuff, Christina.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
I was just going to add to that because it's a great topic, and I think the words we were looking for were reuse, repackage, and repurpose. That's why when you start with video and do it first, then you don't have to worry about the ideas of what's going to happen with the content. Like literally, this video can be broken up into at least 5 different topics that can be in one video. But just like Christina, and that's a great point as well, Christina, because when you break all this stuff up too, and you interlink all the videos, now when someone goes to a certain keyword for that video, your videos will show up on the right-hand side if they're watching it on YouTube because you're basically telling YouTube and Google that these videos are interrelated. And so now if someone's watching your videos, your other videos are showing up on the right-hand side versus them getting distracted, maybe seeing a different thumbnail that catches their fancy, and then they wind up going off of your content because the goal is you still want to get them over to where it is you want them to go, whether it's your website, capture page, blog, or affiliate offer. So those are both great points, and I definitely, for someone who is, they don't know what to talk about or do, if you do something that's like this, like a Hangout that you can repackage, reuse, and repurpose, you have all the content in the world for at least weeks if you just learn how to just do the basics, so to speak. So.
Absolutely. Again, another great point. Danny, do you have a final tip on Hangouts that you want to tell people?
I would say, I don't have necessarily a tip. I would just, depending on what the person is using Hangouts for, again, you can use them to rank, you can use them to connect, you can use them for relationship building. There's so many different things that you can use them for. But the one tip is just to get in, get started, and get going. It's like too many people just spend too much time like worrying about the nuances of the stuff instead of doing the stuff. Like that's how you, Christina alluded to it earlier, like the only way you learn it is by doing it. And, stop worrying about, what things you have, don't have. They give you everything you need from editing to annotations to, all that good stuff. And it's just, all you got to do is do it. That's it. Just do it.
Yeah. I think I can't take credit for that. Dana actually brought it up.
Awesome. Thanks for telling the guys here that can't hear.
Did you have a comment, Dana? Were you getting ready to chime in? I think you're breaking up, Dana. We didn't hear you. Hey, Travis, can you go on mute for a second? Okay, now go ahead, Dana.
There. Can you hear me now, Christina?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. No, I was just patiently waiting my turn. I thought, I was waiting. I was going to chime in on something. I was actually going to chime in when Travis was asking Danny for his tip, because I thought he said Dana. So I guess I can go ahead and give my tip since I have the floor per se. But one of my main tips is just to get on and play around with Google Hangouts. If you need to know the technological part of it, all the technology and how to set it up, how to make it live, and all the bits and pieces, the buttons you need to push, I like to recommend one person individually, and his name is Ronnie Benser, and you can find him on Google+. Find him and follow him. He will teach you step by step. He's very knowledgeable about what he does. And every little tidbit that when I first found out about the Hangouts, he is the one that I was told to go to learn the how-to. And so that right there is a key person that you need to follow on Google+. He will walk you through step by step. Very short videos, perfectly understandable. Other than that, just get on there and play with it. See what you can do with it. Have a friend get on there and be goofy if you want to. But at least get on there and try and make an effort to try to learn how to work it. And then as your knowledge grows, you can share it with other people, which is one reason why we do what we do.
Good stuff, Dana. So basically, just to sum it up, Dana's saying just get on there, get it done, do something. If you want to hang out with some friends to get a little bit more comfortable and proficient, certainly do that. And as your skills grow, you always want to share what you're learning. Learn, do, teach. And then, she did say, good point with following Ronnie Benser. Ronnie Benser is like one of the Google Plus influencers and all-knowing of Hangouts on air. So if you want to increase your knowledge of Hangouts, which I'm sure all of us on the panel at one point or another, I mean, that's who I referred to. And he actually has a mastery group that you can absolutely do a monthly membership to learn even more if you want to dive even more into Ronnie's mastery group. But he has a lot of free content out there as well. So following him to get that knowledge is very good idea. Good tips, Dana.
And one last thing.
Absolutely.
If anybody has any problems with the Hangout,
Travis, can you go on mute just a second, bud? Now, what were you saying, Dana?
I was just going to say, if anybody has any problems or if they're curious, if they have questions, anybody on this panel can answer those questions. I encourage you to get in touch with one of these individuals, especially Kai. He's like the technological online genius that I've found. He's so smart. He knows about SEO. There's multiple other people in the work from home community that they have the technological knowledge on how to get everything set up. But Kai's definitely one of the main guys. He knows what he's doing. He's very smart.
Awesome. So Dana was also saying, if you guys out there have any questions or anything, certainly reach out to the panel. The panel is more than willing to either answer your questions or point you in the right direction. And Kai is one of the foremost work-from-home guys when it comes to SEO and all things technical. That's Dana's big reference for herself.
Awesome. Kai does know stuff when it comes to SEO for sure. And that's what I was going to say. If you do have questions about Hangouts, if you want to practice, I don't think anyone on the panel will disagree with me on this one, but reach out to any of us and we can jump on a Hangout when we have time for sure to get you guys comfortable when it comes to shooting video. And so, any other tips quickly before we call it a day? Let's everyone have a great Sunday.
Thanks for inviting me on. Guys, just get on the video, do the dang thing. I mean, I make it a point actually to look a hot mess. A lot of times I'm looking a hot mess on my videos. It's okay. People actually really kind of bond to you more because they don't want to feel like they have to be glamour beauties on the video. Now, let me just say that today is a real exception. Like, I've got this crazy hat on and everything. But it's okay to look a hot mess because it's about what you're saying. As long as you're providing good content, good value, and you're solving somebody's problems, don't worry about it because they will come back to your page over and over again.
I think you do need to show a quick little glimpse. Come on, Christina. Show people who you are.
Christina, I know this. I know we're keeping it good, clean, fun, but yeah, let's. Can you flash us real quick?
Flash you, right? Like I can flash you, but I'm telling you, like I like crazy. I got a hat on, everything.
Well, you just drove the point home of being a hot mess, so.
No, I'm definitely. It's a hot mess. Like
Show
I'm not
them what a hot mess looks like. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what is that? What does that mean?
Man, that's all
we
good.
can add you on.
I like the hat.
Yeah. You look good. You look fine. Right?
Yeah, I think everyone watching will also agree.
Yeah, you could have hung out like that all day. No one can. I mean, it looks like you came in from maybe it's cold weather somewhere, but you don't look like a crazy hot mess like you were saying. So.
No, it was it's getting a little chilly here. It went straight to winter. It skipped all over the fall.
Okay. Where do you live?
Northeast Tennessee. Now you heard the twang.
No. Well, you and Dana are not too far from each other.
Yeah, actually, Dana lives about an hour and a half west of my hometown, actually.
Yep.
There you guys go. Local peeps can get together and work together.
Cold here too.
Cool, Travis. You can take us home, bro.
Definitely do that. Hopefully it's sunny where you are. Here in Mexico City is sunny, so I'm gonna try to get outside later today here. Thank you everyone for another great hangout, and people watching, if you go into the work from home community and if you want to know things about stuff, let us know so we can bring it up in the hangouts themselves. So just do that, and you guys have a great Sunday. See you next week. Bye.
Later, peeps.